My short answer would be they've changed a lot and not at all. What I mean by that briefly is obviously many things are different, including going back to Mississippi and having the prison welcome us back. I think the not at all is that I think all of us, including myself, have racism inside us. I see myself, I feel myself have reactions that I wish I didn't have. They're not what I think, they're not who I want to be, but they're still with me. I don't act on them. I try to have compassion for myself because I'm a product of this culture, and it gets into your cells. But I think so many just recent examples like what's his name?
Trayvon Martin.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah,
all the killings that have happened just in the last couple of months where a black person, different from Trayvon, but you know, where somebody's car breaks down and they're stranded and they go and knock on a door and a white person shoots them. I think this is, I think what we've planted in everybody is a part of us that's racist, that is afraid of blacks, that feels in certain situations, if a white person came to their house, probably they wouldn't have been shot. You know, Paul was just telling me about some research about people who, in terms of medical treatment, that white people who have serious pain difficulties are given lots of pain medication and, you know, programs to deal with pain. And the statistics are that black people are treated completely differently. Like, we don't, you know, because they're drug addicts anyway, or whatever the thinking is behind. So I think in really profound and conscious and unconscious ways, I don't think things have changed that much, even though on the surface they've changed a lot and we could elect Obama.
I was thrilled at Boston College, from which I retired a few years ago. I was in the history department, but I was very happy to notice that there began to be African-American students at BC who were some of them planning to go to graduate school, maybe go to teaching. They had no interest in taking Afro-American history courses. They were in music or sociology and were studying the behavior of Eskimos and not studying black people. And that it was sort of that what a transformation that these young black kids could say, I want to study that stuff. I want to learn about Kaiser Wilhelm. I'm studying German history. I don't have to study Afro-Am. Whereas everyone else, you know, that was the standard thing for years. If you were a black person in a university, no matter what your interest was, you had to have, because if you wanted to get a job, universities now were teaching Afro-Am, so you had to have an Afro-Am minor or a field and be able to do that. And not to be able to say, look at the racial structure of that. White people in academia don't have that kind of issue. And there's that on the one side. And on the other side, now you see like the Twitter world and other places have just opened windows to the resurgence of the most brutal, direct, racist craziness that I haven't heard in decades. The use of the N-word, for example. It's almost, the latest, this thing which I was talking to Ellen about, this little episode with the Seattle Seahawks cornerback, Richard Sherman, and his spewing out all sorts of stuff, and the responses to that. Well, it was like, this was like some monkey who was in a zoo and people were commenting on him. I mean, the things they said were, and I just was crushed by that and thought like, wow, this is really taking a long time. And it really goes one person at a time. Recently, the chief of the Birmingham police had a reunion with John Lewis and spoke with Congressman Lewis, who had was almost killed in the early freedom rides, and was beaten in many other situations. And the Birmingham police chief, embraced him and said, "We did horrible things to you. I am so sorry that we participated in this, that we let these things happen to you." And I thought, isn't that fantastic? I said, what kind of white person do I want to be? There's another white person who figured it out. Great. Apologize already. Just say, I'm sorry. And to the extent that too many white people can't say that, it makes a difference to me. I don't know if it would solve everything.